How's it? I'm Christo. Welcome to Diamond Cornerstone, classic YouTube drill, like, subscribe, share. Today is probably going to be a quick one, and I want to talk about words have power. Now, everything that we say puts out a vibration, a frequency, and then gets a response. Okay, so you can, there's loving stuff like I love you, and this usually gets I appreciate you, or gratitude and thanks, and it generates a hope and a love and a future, and yeah, so that's the one side. And then we get other words like anger and negative emotions, rage, frustration, worry, and these words also have vibration and actually brings your spirit down. But now there's some words that we actually get stuck with, and yeah, my field is curriculum design. I write textbooks, so I see bigger systems, bigger thinking, because curriculum is a collective noun for lots of lesson plans, which basically, and I see education as brick walls, and you place the bricks and then lessons built on lessons. So bricks get built on bricks. So if you're missing a brick, then you're actually going to get a gaping hole inside the wall, the educational wall. Yeah, it's a nice metaphor. But with that, you get neutral words that actually stop development. So there are three words I try never to use. Okay, upliftment, job creation, and sustainable development. Firstly, there's three of them, so we're missing one side of the diamond. So we've got a hierarchy or a 3 points to a triangle, but they're all short term as well, and they're not long term focused. It's like job creation. Today I've got a job. I'm gonna go fetch my. A lot of my work is, because I work from home, I'm also a stay-at-home dad. So fetching my kid from school, taking him to school, that's a job. That's a little project, little task. Making almond milk in the morning, that's a job. But the thing is, you get people are on the job. My grandfather always spoke on the job, but he was a tree and stump and brush removal kind of guy. That was his career. So job is part of a bigger thing. So career creation should be the long-term focus. And this is where I get into things like state and government, because we haven't career pathed the progress for how people move. And this takes us to the second word, which is progressive development, as opposed to sustainable development. The sustainable development, according to conversations I've had, sustaining life was first a term used by the World Health Organization in 1991. And you can sustain life with intravenous feeding, with a drip. People are in comas for years. Their life is sustained, but they're not living. Now, likewise, we can sustain people with social grants, and we can sustain people with t-shirts and free lunch. But that isn't progress. Progress is infrastructure, education, developing the physical environment as a stage, and then developing the people through education to be the players on the stage. So between job creation, which should be career path creation, saying you're here, you're going to get this experience, knowledge, comprehension, application, experience, and then you're going to upgrade to the next level. Now, and then upliftment is, it's what Miss Universe, Miss World. Feed a man for a day and you feed him for a day. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Which is the same thing, which is empowerment. Which is what education should be. It's empowerment. So the three words would be upliftment should be empowerment. Sustainable development should be progressive development. and it's progressing in the development of the people as well as the infrastructure, the stage, and the players. And then sustainable development, progressive, and then job creation, career creation. So between the three of those, but the thing is now you want to drag it into a diamond, so then you just put it into a context, into a physical environment, because suddenly you're going to have weather acting in on the play. You're going to have climate, you're going to have environment, soil, you're going to have water, rainfall, temperature, and all of that. So the thing is, if you've got a career with empowerment, with progress in a context, you can actually get purpose. You can get something pretty wow. So yeah, I live in a country where we've had 31 years of decline. The infrastructure was, now it's a South African flaw actually, is we're highly blessed. The country is highly blessed. We've got serious mineral wealth. We've always had serious mineral wealth. So we've never needed exploratory mining. So we've got the alluvial diamonds, 7 kimberlite pipes. We've got the Witwatersrand gold basin and platinum bushveld complex. So we've never needed to explore. We've never needed to think ahead. We've never needed to anticipate. Likewise, the ANC, current ruling party, they inherited a seriously cool infrastructure, but the infrastructure was due to apartheid and the systems there under that government. The apartheid government only developed an infrastructure large enough for about 5 million people. And now suddenly we're trying to fit 44 million people onto a 5 million infrastructure. So immediately you're going to get decline. Because the infrastructure can't, let's put it this way, glass of, here's a mug, I can't put 4 liters of water in here, in this mug. It's just not going to happen. It's just, so what should have happened in 1994 with the changeover was infrastructure development and skills development. And that's exactly what actually happened with, let's say, after the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. Now, I'm not a communist and I'm not a socialist, but what they did, and you got to take the strengths from what you observe, is that in 1918, after the whole revolution in Russia, and they got rid of the Tsar, the first thing they did was invest in education and infrastructure together. And the proof is, okay, so at 1918, so you take a 20-year-old and you add 20 years to the Second World War. Okay, so it's 1938 now. So he's had 20 years of education, and suddenly you're fighting the Germans, and then you go into a Cold War. And the Cold War ended when that strong educational group of 1918 to 25, when those guys started retiring. And believe me, sustaining a Cold War with technological advancements, staying ahead of the trend against the American superpower, because that's what it was East versus West, means that there was a serious education base laid in the early 1920s in Russia. And it was policy from state to invest in that. And we can see on hindsight 2020 is that you don't sustain a Cold War of like 45 years unless you've got a seriously strong education base, because they had to keep up with technology. Besides the ideology of communism and socialism and all that, but they had to keep up with technology, keep up with weapons development, keep up with vehicles, keep up with gas supply lines, keep up with energy, keep up with infrastructure. Okay, there was major deterioration because, yeah, after the reunification of Germany, East Germany, West Germany in the 1990s, they spent a couple of trillion to rebuild East Germany. So the flaws in communism was a lack of pride, a lack of personal reward. Okay, but we're not going to get into the ideologies here. I want to talk about sustainable development, empowerment, progressive development, empowerment, and career creation. Because note, even with the Cold War, the careers were set, the generals were set based on education. So there is a serious amount that comes into developing people, moving us from a triangle hierarchy to a diamond heterarchy. Yeah, that's quick bottom line here, is we've got to be careful of using limiting words. We can't limit ourselves with sustainable, upliftment, and job. It's career, progressive, and empowerment. Blessings for the day, and yeah, it's just something on my mind.